went to on the trip. I've seen albums I thought I would never see in physical form. Dead
Wow.
ass. So I got like
Hmm.
4 albums. I was on a budget and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, this is the last CDs until maybe May. It's the last time I get some CDs until May and shit like that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Mhm. But yeah, but the trip was good.
It was
It
good.
was good.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was relaxing. It was everything. How was your weekend?
It was cool. Just hanging out, just helping my mom clean out her house and shit. You know.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got to see my mom later on too. So
Yeah. Now older people they start collecting shit that they don't want. So
right.
you know what I mean. You gotta clean that stuff out. I already found like some stuff, like some mixtapes and stuff that I made for her and Discman. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna use the Discmans and stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
You know. Yep.
Shit.
I was like, yo, I forgot you was on a vacation. 'Cause I was like, yo, if Reg was available, you would have beaten that quiz, yo. You and Ashley. I sent it to Ashley, but she never came on.
How many questions was it?
They gave you five, and I got one wrong. I know the one I got wrong would be a babyface question. Cause they asked me. Apparently, Babyface is still doing albums. I didn't know that. And he
Oh
had
yeah.
me. They asked me what, huh?
I said, oh yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, they asked me what was his recent album. I'm like, shit. I was thinking about the Tony Braxton one he did. The marriage was a marriage and relationships.
Yeah.
But apparently he came out with a recent album. So I'm like, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
You
I think it
know.
was with like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. He did it with.
And they asked me name the members of who it was. Uh, I forgot what group it was. They asked me to name a name an R&B group, and they asked me to name like three soak songs, and they had a one hit wonder question. They asked me, they were like, they're gonna name the song, and then I gotta tell them who it was. So the one hit wonder was Adina Howard, Freak Like Me. Then they asked me to name Aaliyah's first single. But I mean, the questions they gave me were easy compared to some of the other ones. Like they were asking people, what was Tank's first single ever? When was the last genuine album? It was crazy. There's one dude they asked this one chick, name all the members of Day 26. I'm like, shit.
Okay, yeah, I would have lost. Yeah.
Yo. I was like, yo, like
I mean,
this. It was
I would have
crazy.
accepted Tang, but not Day 26.
It was crazy. They were like, who was Eric? Can anybody name any Eric Roberson any Eric Roberson songs? I'm like, I've heard of the dude, but I never heard his albums though.
My friend loves Eric Roberson.
Eric Roberson. So he must be like a real underground. He has like a real underground following because I've heard of him, but I don't know his albums like that.
Yeah, he does.
And it was a lot of Tank questions tonight. I'm like, I don't know if they like a fan of Tank stuff or what is it. It was a lot of Tank questions. And the dude that didn't know the escape members, I'm like, you don't know R&B then, because if you can't name all four escape members, something's wrong.
Oh my
You
god.
know, he didn't know all the escape members. Like he got Tiny right, of course, and he got Candy, but he didn't know the two sisters, Latasha and Tamika.
How the
I'm
fuck
like,
you
how
don't
do you not
know
know that?
the sisters?
How do you not know the sisters? You know, and who else? It was like a lot of Eric Robeson and John B. Like they asked one dude what was John B's what's the name of John B's last album. I'm like, John B still putting out albums? Yeah, I don't even know that.
I don't even know that.
I don't. It's called Comfortable Swag or some shit like that.
Nigga,
Yeah.
you too old to be using swag.
I was like,
I'm sorry.
yo.
I'm tired of that word swag. I'm just so tired of it.
I was like, yo. I'm like, come on, man. So they were like, they're gonna invite me back on. 'Cause I guess like they were going through. Well, you know what happened? They had asked people to email them about like being on there, and I guess I don't know if they got too many messages or they just said, well, we're gonna bring them on live is easier. And I forgot they were coming on. I'm like, yo, let me do this quiz because I could do this shit. And I got one wrong, so they like, yo, we're gonna bring you back on there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anybody got more than one wrong. You know what I'm saying? It was me and another female and another dude that got like one wrong, and they're gonna bring us back. The other ones they didn't make it. So if you got like more than two wrong and you wasn't coming back,
Yo,
you know,
send
I'm
me
like,
that
yo,
if you do
Reg and Ashley would kill this quiz right now, cause I know y'all know your shit.
Oh yeah, let's believe.
You know what I mean? I'm like Tank. I don't listen to Tank, so I wouldn't know. And Tyrese, they had a Tyrese question. What was Tyrese? The name of Tyrese last album?
Roses what?
What was the name of Tyrese last album?
Wasn't it like Black Roses or some
Black
shit?
Rose. Yeah, it was Black. I'm like, didn't we cover that? I think we covered that shit.
Nah, we covered Alter Ego.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Somebody said it was Black Rose, and I'm like, yo, man, they got a thing for Tank on there.
Right.
You know.
Oh, TGT.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably drop this review Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, for the third base review, expected anytime after 11:30 or shit at this
Okay.
point.
After the Grammys is over.
Well, I don't even know if I want to watch the whole Grammys.
Yeah.
I might
I
just
don't
sit
know
in the
what
back.
they said like they do. It's gonna be half viral and it's gonna be like people actually there performing.
Hmm.
Like they having like
That's
separate stages for people. Okay.
that's what they did with the
Interesting.
Oscars.
I want to see how they do that. And then yeah, they're announcing the Oscars on Monday.
I mean, not the Oscars, Golden Globes. That's what I meant
Yeah,
to say.
the Oscar nominations is Monday.
Oh, we'll
So
see
that should
this
be
shit.
interesting. Yep, that should be interesting.
Guess we have to hear the whole cancel Oscars,
Oh
all that
Lord,
shit. We gotta
oh
hear the whole
boy.
black
Hey,
don't
if
black.
they better have one or two black nominations better be in there. Judas and the Black Messiah better be in there. And I
The
keep
U.S.
hearing about, huh?
the U.S. versus Billie Holiday should be there too.
Right. And I was gonna say the one was it one night in Miami shit.
Definitely,
Yeah,
that's a movie I might talk about one day.
yeah. I got to see that. 'Cause I haven't seen it, but I know a lot of people like that film. So you know,
Call me crazy, but
mm.
the Pixar Soul movie that should be
That
nominated.
one too. Right. Yeah, I saw a lot of people enjoying that one. I remember seeing the trailer. I haven't seen the film yet though.
No, the movie's amazing.
Okay,
Like
let me check it
like
out.
Pixar. I mean, they really disappoint. Like really.
Hmm. Wow.
Okay. But I'm ready whenever you are, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing this lovely Tuesday? This is your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
What up?
So this was like a surprise review. This was not planned at all, but while I was out of town, I went CD shopping to see what they had there. I wasn't really expecting much, but
Mm,
this is literally the best CD shop I've been to. I This is like the vinyl store equivalent, and they sold vinyls too. But
mm,
I went to the CD section because I was like I was good on vinyl at the moment,
mm.
and all the CDs were like $3. Majority of CDs
Wow,
$3.
that's a steal.
Right. So most of this is R&B, except for of course the album we're gonna talk about today. So I'm just gonna
Right.
run by these like right quick and stuff like that.
Okay.
The first album comes from this R&B group, legendary group that's been in the game for many years. We always talk about this album,
Mm.
and it's the Ozzy Brothers with the Mission to Please.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um, this was released in 1995 on what I'm pulling up. Island. I want to say Island. Yeah, Island T Neck Records
Def
and stuff
Jam, yeah.
like that. Def Jam. Yes, sir. Um, so the singles albums came out with was Let's Lay Together. Um, what else came out with? They came out with a Tears song, and I want to say their cover of Simply Red's "Holding Back the Years."
Right. Didn't they
This
come out
album
with Float On too?
with
Or
what
that
book?
wasn't on the album. Float On? That wasn't on that album?
You're right, "Floating on Your Love" with Angela
Right.
Winbush.
Yes.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is like top six favorite Isley Brothers album.
Okay.
I've been if you guys watch this channel, I've always talked about this album,
Yeah.
saying I need this album, I need this
Yes.
album. I was close on getting the cassette version a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
back, but my homeboy he lost it
Right.
unfortunately, and then my boombox messed up.
Oh well.
So here it is, and so there's a story
Yes.
behind this album. So as you can see, it's not like the full 3+3 lineup. You had Ron, you had Ernie. I think Ernie was here, and I want to say Marvin too. Yeah, Ron, Ernie, and Marvin. Because at that time, O'Kelly had died in '86. You know, Chris Jasper, he was doing his own thing. And Rudolph had became a born again Christian. He had diabetes, and he was like a reverend and stuff like that too.
Wow.
So yeah, so pretty much this was like as he was, and also this was the beginning of the Mr. Biggs era, as you can see with the
Mm-hmm.
Pimp Kane.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to a lot of Ozzy Brothers albums, especially in their prime in the '70s and early '80s, it's like style wise they weren't like this and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like this just screams
Mm-hmm.
'90s R&B right here.
Oh yeah.
But this is definitely a very dope album. I've always loved the production on this album. All these years, I thought R. Kelly did the majority of the production, which he does, but Angela Winbush did some shit. Keith Murray, I mean not Keith Murray, excuse me, Keith Sweat,
Mm-hmm.
and even Ron Isley done some shit too. So
Right.
yeah, man, I've always said, oh, this is just an R. Kelly produced album and shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. I was originally going to do like a poll on Isley Brothers
Mm-hmm.
albums, which I might say that for next month, but I'm
Right.
definitely somehow, some way going to talk about this album sometime this month, if not next month and shit. This is the Ozzy Brothers Mission to Please. This album was released in 1995. This album's out of print.
I saw a video of an interview recently with Chris Jasper too. He was talking about his career with the Isley Brothers and when he went solo.
Oh yeah, was it like when he was like in like his crib, his apartment, or his home or some shit?
I think so. It was recent. It was like maybe a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, if you see it, send it to me, please.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked Chris Jasper. He's always had some shit to say about the older brothers.
Right.
That's all I got to say. This next album is another R&B album from the '90s and shit like that. Again, an album I've talked about a lot in the past. We've talked about a lot of albums from this label. Is Faith Evans with the Faith album?
Classic.
Yes, classic indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very dope album. In my opinion, this is like top four Bad Boy albums. I don't care
Yes.
what nobody has to say.
Definitely.
And I admit, I say my shit about Puffy. I say my shit about Bad Boy sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but when they make quality shit like this,
Mm-hmm.
I always love it. And it's crazy too because, like I said, I was on a budget and I was very close on getting her second album, Keep the
Right.
Faith, which
Right.
that's probably my second favorite album, a near perfect album. But I was
Right.
just like, something will tell me, Reggie, you're gonna get that. It's not that deep because
Right.
and then for the next album too, I was caught up in something too, but
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, this one right here is a classic album.
Yes.
I'm gonna be real, I don't like the album cover.
Oh wow.
way too close up in the face. I'm like, okay, yeah, Faith, she's always been beautiful, but they zoomed in way into her face, like with the Kara's one self-titled, where they zoomed
Mm.
in. But with that
To his
one,
eye.
yeah, with that one, I let it slide because
Hmm.
Kara's one, was just that knowledge, But with this one, I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, but yeah, yeah,
Man,
singles albums known for are "You Used to Love Me,"
that's
"You
funny.
Used to Love Me," "Soon as I Get Home," "Ain't Nobody," and "Come Over." Um, yeah, man, you can tell a lot of these songs were written about her relationship with Biggie because
Right.
it's crazy. Like songs like "You Used to Love Me," "You Don't Understand,"
Right.
and mind you, Biggie was in the "Used to Love Me" video too.
Right. That's true.
Um, of course, you know the story. Wait, we reviewed this album years
You
ago.
did this album, yeah.
Damn, wow. And I'm
Yeah.
just now, like, cause I could have sworn,
Hmm.
yeah, I could have sworn it was a total album. We've done so much shit over the years,
Did we
man.
did we do a total album?
We never
I
did
don't think
total.
nah, we didn't do no total albums. I don't
Yeah,
think.
that's before I touch total. I want to talk
Mm.
about faithfully and keep the faith and shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't got no Faith Evans albums on CD. I had the first one on cassette, but I never bought the stuff on CD though.
originally I was planning on getting you faithfully, but then
Right.
since you asked for the salt and pepper joints, I gave
Right.
Ash faithfully, but I still got you on faithfully.
Okay, cool, cool.
One day, yeah, one day. Let me
I
just
love that album. That's a great album.
yeah, to me, one of her last great albums. To
Yeah,
me,
I agree. I agree.
um,
And she
but
just
yeah,
she just put out I don't know if her YouTube channel like just uploaded new like videos from the Incomparable album, but it says like the album came out like in 2014. So I don't know if they're re-releasing it or what.
poss-
Okay.
possibly, but you never know because sometimes people just
Right.
make mistakes with the copyright sometimes or whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, man. But yeah, man, we've done a review on this album and stuff
Yes.
like that. I forgot we done a review. Um, the cover of "Love Don't Live Here Anymore" with Mary J.
Yes.
Blige. Oh my God, y'all know the story about how they were both drunk, how they almost fought in the
Hmm.
studio and shit. And
Right.
speaking of Mary J, a lot of people compared her to Mary J. Blige when she first came out. Of course, Puffy was the executive producer for both albums and stuff. But to me, this the way I see it. Vocally, I would pick Faith. Artistry, I would pick Mary.
Right.
So yeah,
And
man.
speaking of like albums that yo, I don't know if we could do a whole episode on that. Like albums with like the album covers were like had like the face, the zoom in face or whatever. 'Cause I was thinking about the
Oh,
like the Mariah Carey Music Box album cover is similar to that one.
well, Music Box, I like the cover to that
You
one,
like the
believe it
cover?
or not. Yeah,
Hmm.
because it wasn't really too zoomed in
Right.
and stuff like that. It wasn't, but like the self-titled Karis One,
Hmm.
the Faith, um, the alternate cover of DOC's Helter Skelter album where it's just
Right.
zoomed into his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just like,
Okay.
there's gotta be limits.
Yeah.
Because if a motherfucker has boogers up in his nose and shit, I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying.
What about the Invincible cover, the Michael one?
See, that was creative. I like that one because it
Right.
wasn't too zoomed in. You can see his whole
Yeah.
head
Right.
and stuff
Right.
like that. And they had the different colors for the album covers and
Right.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? What else?
That might be cool. That might be like an episode we could do like about like just those type of album covers.
Oh yeah,
That'd be interesting.
I'm trying to think of another album where they zoomed in. Oh man,
Method
I
Man,
had you saw
Takal,
what?
Takal.
The first one?
Yeah.
Nah, that was
You
ill.
know that was it. You like okay?
Yeah, Ella. You know what? Ella Cool J's 10 album, the Todd Smith.
Oh yeah. That's,
When they, 10 when they zoomed into his muscles, I'm like, come on. When Mama said knock you out, it was cool with that, but then
mm,
Todd Smith and Tim. I'm like, come on now. This is
Like Mr.
what
Smith,
what
he
what
showed his bald head.
what are we? Well, the bald head was cool too,
Mhm.
but what is he gonna do for his comeback album? Just do the whole shirtless thing again? Come on now. But yeah, this is Faith Evans with Faith.
Yeah,
Again, another album. It took me a while to get.
nice, classic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whitney Houston's self-titled debut.
Hmm.
I used to have this album, but I gave it to a girl for Valentine's Day, and
Wow.
I was like, I didn't feel like. I admit I didn't feel like wasting a lot of money. Plus, I was
Right,
saving up some butt money and shit. So I was like, you know what? She loves vinyl music. Everyone loves Whitney,
right.
so fuck
I've been there. I remember giving away, but my Christina Aguilera stripped album to one of my exes, and I'm like, damn it, why did I do that? But she was a big Christina Aguilera fan, so and she had bought me like a Rockaway outfit at that time, so I was like, I didn't mind.
that's true. Damn.
Stripped. Oh man.
But with this album, like I said, I see it everywhere I go.
Mm,
So that's why I was not even too worried.
right.
1985, this album was sweet. This is when she had a shaved head, and she had a shaved head and shit. Um, singles albums known for, well, pretty much almost all the songs were singles. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah.
Um, you give good love, thinking about you, saving all my love for you, which that is not a wedding song. Saving all my love for you is not a wedding song.
Another wedding song.
It's not a wedding song whatsoever. She was a side chick in that song. Because I saw this one post where
Mm,
they said that, oh my God, I love to get married to this song. And people were saying, it was on either on Twitter or Instagram, this is
mm,
not a wedding song.
wow.
She's talking about breaking up a marriage.
Right. That's
That's why
crazy.
some of y'all females are toxic right now. Let me stop. I'm tripping. Nobody loves me like you do with Jermaine Jackson. How will I know? Which Jermaine and Whitney dated at that time too.
Oh wow.
Um,
Jermaine was
all
beating
that
that.
he was cheating on his wife at that time.
Oh, she.
So
Wow.
allegedly, all
That's
at
crazy.
once. Greatest love of all, and Hold Me featuring Teddy Pendergrass, which she'd actually done stuff with Teddy Pendergrass too and stuff like that. Because that song Hold Me, that was on the Love Language album from Teddy back in '84. Which a little trivia about that song,
Mm,
she was originally supposed to be nominated for Best New Artist, but since the Grammy said that, oh, she had that song Hold Me in '84, she
right.
was not eligible for Best New Artist and shit. So
Right.
kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? But now they kind of stretching the years out now
Mm,
and stuff because technically Megan Thee Stallion dropped shit even before her
right.
album, and she's still considered Best New Artist, but
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
it's the Grammys, you know. Anyway, yeah, this is a very dope album. It's a classic album, very soulful. Definitely nice features of the synths and stuff. It was either this album or Just Whitney, so I
Right.
made the obvious choice
Definitely.
because I was literally this close on getting. I was like, you know what?
Mm,
I'm not gonna drop this album for Just Whitney.
right.
Which when I talk about Whitney Houston album, I'm definitely gonna talk about that album one day.
Mm,
Because I pretty much have all her albums
right.
plus two of her soundtracks too. So yeah,
Yeah.
very very dope album. Definitely got to do a review on this album. I know I've said that. So and plus this
Mm,
album been requested a lot too. So
yes. Definitely.
and now this album,
Yes.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince Home Base. This was released on Jive under RCA. It only came out with three singles: "Summertime," "Ring My Bell," and "The Things That You Do." No,
Mm,
well, pretty much there was a guest appearance on the posse. It was a posse cut. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the guest appearance. Let me see if Rap Genius has it. Yeah, Jazz Fresh and El Cid. I don't know who those. I think they're like some friends of them, but yeah,
What
DJ
song was that?
Trapped on the Dance Floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, producers include DJ Jazzy Jeff, Hula and K Fingers, and Will Smith, aka the Fresh Prince. Now, originally, I was going to talk about them near the summertime and start with the Rock the House album, but
Right,
I was so hyped. I found this album because I've seen this album in vinyl, but it was
yeah,
$50, and I was not going to pay
right,
$50. I love DJ Jones Jeff and Fresh Prince, but I wasn't gonna pay that much for vinyls because my
mm-hmm,
limit for vinyls is like 40.
right,
But DJ Jazz Jeff and Fresh Prince, I've said in the past, that they were the best hip hop group duo to combine um, hip hop with pop sensibility and stuff like that, even better than Kid and Play, which I know those groups kind of get compared to a lot, which we'll talk
right.
about that. How
Mm-hmm.
did you get to DJ Jazz Jeff and Fresh Prince?
Oh man, it was with the video for parents just don't understand, and I used to always see that video on Video Music Box back in the day, and um, what's the other song? It was another song. What was this? Didn't he have like a song about his girlfriend or something like that? On you're muted.
I said, who was?
Um, yeah, I thought he had a song about his girlfriend or something.
For which album?
That could on I want to say it was on He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper.
I gotta re-listen to that album.
Okay, it was two songs. It was Parents Just Don't Understand, and it was another song, and then like I had all of their albums on cassette. I have to yet to get there's another group I have yet to get their stuff on CD, but I had all of their albums except for Code Red on cassette, and I remember hearing this song for Parents Just Don't Understand and liking it because it was just like I could relate to the song because that's what I was going through. That's how I always felt like yo parents just don't understand. Like, it was weird. Like there was certain songs growing up that spoke to me. Like that song and when leaders came out with a case of the PTA and when they were talking about like the parent and teacher relationship, I always hated that. You know what I'm saying? It was certain songs
Yeah.
that I grew up like yo like I could relate to that song because that's what I was going through at that time and um I remember getting the I liked it. I remember getting the album on cassette and hearing the album. I'm like, yo, this is dope, man. Like Nightmare on My Street. And that was the time when I was like just getting into like I wasn't fully into horror yet, but like there was certain movie like horror films that I was watching that I probably shouldn't have been watching, like Poltergeist and the very first Nightmare on Elm Street I saw was actually Freddy's Revenge. It was part two. I didn't even see the original yet, but I heard so much stuff about the original. And I remember when they made the song for the first movie and um it was I was like yo like I loved what I heard and they were different at that time. There was like no group that was out like them. Kid and Play wasn't like them. Heavy and the Boys wasn't like them. And it never bothered me that they were they were PG. I mean that because like at that time like rap was still new. So like most of the artists that was coming out at that time before like the Cool G Raps and the Rock Kims and the Canes, they were PG. Like Curtis Blow was PG. You know what I'm saying? Like Houdini, Run DMC. I listened to them. They were PG. You know what I'm saying for the most part. And that thought of them being like Disney rap or software or whatever Ice Cube Ice T had called them. That never entered my mind. I'm like, cause at that time it was like a lot of those artists were doing that. I
You
mean,
said Ice
except for
T.
the exception of NWA and huh?
You said Ice T said some shit about DJ Jazzy Jeff and
Yeah,
Fresh
on
Prince.
Arsenio. Remember I told you the Arsenio clip, the interview that he had with Arsenio, and he called them Disney rap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
No, I remember
saying?
the part. I remember that part.
There's a part actually on the Mob Deep Murder mixtape on the song Solidified. Like there's a part when that starts off, they took like a part of that Ice T interview where he's like my rap is not supposed it's my rap is horror. It's not supposed to be that's supposed to have like a happy ending. It's a horror. You know what I'm saying? And that was Ice T giving an interview about his music compared to everybody else's music.
Yeah, I
But
saw
you
that.
know, at that time, like nobody, like it wasn't a thing. Like at least on the East Coast, I don't know how it was on the West Coast. On the East Coast, nobody was saying like, "Oh, well, they're soft," and that only happened many years later when we had when we went into the '90s and we had like MOP and the Onyxes and Boot Camp and all that. Like that's when people started labeling them, oh, well, they're soft rap because of what was coming out after them. But at that time in the '80s, nobody was saying like, "Oh, Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince are soft." I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? So they like to have fun and they had some dope songs and it was different and it was creative. I mean, because even at that time, like when Will did Parents Just Don't Understand and Nightmare on My Street, no, like nobody was doing songs like that. You know what I'm saying? You might have had like Joski Love doing the Pee Wee dance, and then he like faded into obscurity. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you had creativity bubbling up, and that's what always like drew me to those type of artists. You know what I'm saying? And over the years, like when they came out with the third album, and in this corner, same thing. I think I can beat Mike Tyson, classic, and that was right when I got my first Nintendo system ever, and got Mike Tyson's Punch Out and I, I, I probably took like weeks to beat Mike Tyson just to dodge that that uppercut because he was like the final boss in that game and I could relate again because it was like like I'm playing Mike Tyson Punch Out and then you got this rapper from Philly that has a song talking about I think I could beat Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson is in the video and Mike Tyson was larger than life at that time. He was like my Muhammad Ali at that time, and and he just made songs that people could relate to. You know what I'm saying? And then like with when this album came out and it was the same thing like summertime. Everybody loves the summer. I love the summer. If you're a kid, you love the summer. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the time when you out of school and you get to play with your friends on the block and it was water gun fights and going to the beach or going to the amusement park and cotton candy and blockbuster summer movies. That was summertime for me. That I couldn't wait. I still feel like that. Like I'd rather be in summer than to be in like any other season. And I'm a spring baby, but I still love the summer. When it's not too hot outside and it's nice and you can go out and enjoy yourself with your friends and that was just another song that people could relate to and it's like every time he kept elevating with every album and then to the point where he went into films with Bad Boys and Independence Day. I went to see both of them and still classic films, and Fresh Prince of Bel Air, that I never missed that show. Like from the from the very first episode when he landed in Bel Air with you know what I'm saying, with his neon green, hat and shorts and Jordans to the last episode. I watched every episode. I did not miss that episode. You know what I'm saying? And I used to tape those episodes on on V. I used to like take my mom's like VHS tapes and tape over whatever the fuck was on there and to record the Bel Air episodes just so I could watch it over and over. And this is before DVDs was a thing. This is before like box sets was a thing. They wasn't even doing that back then. And I never missed no episode. And that was like my one of my favorite like top three '90s shows ever. That and Martin and New York Undercover, Living Single. I never missed the Wayans Brothers. I never missed those shows. I always watched those shows and he even then like he was showing his charisma as an actor and his influence on the culture. Coming from hip hop and having so many different special guests on there from music and TV and you know it was great. And then like finally meeting him in person, that was like out of nowhere. I didn't never expected that to happen. I still got to pinch myself because it was just like surreal and everything happened so fast. And he's a good dude. Like just meeting him in person and him shaking my hand and giving me a dap, and he didn't have no security around him. He wasn't on no bougie shit. Like you hear about a lot about like different people, they be divas and they stuck up, and him and Jada, they were on some real cool shit, and it was a pleasure to meet them, and he's always been one of my favorites. I just not even as a artist, but just as somebody that's always been him, throughout this whole career, and being a positive um artist in this culture. I can't even say role model because nobody is perfect, but just being like a mainstay in this culture for so many years, from transitioning from the music over to the big screen and still being relevant in this day and age. It's not too many. It's only like him and LL that came from like that era that's still like relevant now. And LL don't even have a hit album out, and he still managed to be a mainstay and Fat Joe still managed to be a mainstay in this culture, and he you got to give him his props. He has longevity, and he's a good businessman, and the stuff he's done, the projects he's done for other people, and he's a legend to me. He needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like they taking forever to put him in. It's long. It's already over 25 years from him. He needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dope stuff. Now, before I ask you, before I go on, now
Yeah.
since you said you originally watched Fresh Prince all the way throughout,
Mhm.
what was your reaction when you found out that they replaced the Viv?
I like the old on Viv. I mean, just because like I like starting when you start to watch the show like on Viv. I like unless it was somebody that was coming on that was better. I didn't feel like Tim Reed's. I didn't feel like Daphne Reed was better than the original one. I always felt like Janet Hubbard was that's Aunt Viv. Like acted like when you start the show with the cast with Uncle Phil and Hillary and Carlton and Jeffrey and Ashley and Will, and then you got Aunt Viv. I always think of the first Aunt Viv before the second one. You know what I'm saying? And I know like in soap operas they do that a lot where they sometimes the OG character might go on vacation and they bring in like a replacement for a while, and then they get rid of the replacement and bring back the OG. But it's not a soap opera. You know what I'm saying? Like a show like that, that's a classic show, and I always like prefer the Aunt Viv, because like the first like season alone was hilarious with the OG Aunt Viv. Like when I always say like the Christmas episode when Will bought the hood ornaments for Ashley's first Christmas.
Yeah,
I always like that, and it like just her interaction with Uncle Phil and with the kids, and she was just funny. Like to me, she had more charisma than the second one. You know what I'm saying? I think it was more of a complete like performance by Aunt Viv and that cast compared to the second one and the cast. Because the second one, when the second one came in, I don't really remember any like funny times that she had with the cast, unless I'm forgetting. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like Aunt Viv was the one because and like even like in the latter seasons, I think she would have killed it. It would have been so hilarious to have that version there in certain situations, and you know what I'm saying. It was just at that time I was like, damn, like they got rid of the. I was young, but I was like, I like the first on Viv. You know what I'm saying? But now, like years later, you hear about what happened and everything, and I'm like, I still feel like that. I'm like, shit, they made a mistake. They should have had kept the first on Viv, and You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even if I had spent a long enough time like meeting them, I would have probably asked them that like, what happened to the old Aunt Viv? How come you all got rid of her? I'm sure fans over the years have asked them about that. So
Yeah, I'm just grateful that they squashed the beef after like 30
yeah,
years.
it should have been like that a long time ago. Like why wait till now? Like that shit could have happened even when they were on the air. They could She could have came back for the last episode. Like why did they wait so many years just to squash the beef? You know what I mean? I didn't understand that. You know.
But
So
anyway,
I prefer the first on Viv, man.
yeah, I definitely see what you're saying.
You know.
But the way I got into DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, minus Fresh Prince of Bel Air, I heard the song "Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble,"
Mhm.
which that was on I want to say the Rock the House album and
That's
stuff
the
like that.
song. Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. That's the song that I heard. It was that and Parents Ain't Just Can't Understand. I was
Yeah,
trying to remember the song with the girls in it. Okay.
yeah, it was unique how Jazzy Jeff flipped the I Dream of Genie sample and stuff like that because I know at that time in hip hop, not a lot of people were sampling theme songs like that. Like you remember when I told you
Mhm.
about the MC Shan incident where they had to Hanna Barbera had to tell them we will re-record it without the
Right.
Jetson sample and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, man, definitely dope and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact that they've been friends for so long was what really impressed me about him. Because certain hip hop groups over the years, you just have to have that ego come into play,
Right.
like NWA, Run DMC. Run DMC were not really seeing eye to eye at that point. But the
Mhm.
fact that Will always looked up for Jeff and Jeff vice versa, this was always spoke volumes to me
Right.
and stuff like that. Hell, even with Salt and Pepper too.
Mhm.
But for those who don't know who DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince are, they are a hip hop duo formed in West Philadelphia. Now, originally, not a lot of people know this, but there was originally three members
Oh
when it
shit!
came
I
to
didn't know
DJ
that.
Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and it was Jeff, Fresh Prince, and Reddy Roxy, who was the beatboxer and stuff like that.
Right.
So Jeff and Will, they pretty much met one night at a party and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And Jazzy Jeff, he was rapping at that time and he needed a hype man. So Will decided to fill in and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And so his hype man came late, but they still were friends and whatnot. And so that's when they started forming a duo, and then that's when Reddy Roxy came into the picture and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And he pretty much, he was available like in the first two DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince albums, which I'm gonna get into in a minute. And so the first single that they put out was "Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble," which I mentioned, which used the I Dream of Genie sample.
Right.
And what was interesting about that was the fact that that got them to deal with Jive Records, thanks to Russell Simmons, because if I'm not mistaken, Russell was like one of their first managers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
yeah, and so fast forward to '87. Um, well, originally Rock the House was released in '86
Right.
on an indie label called Word Up, but then once they got to deal with Jive, it was re-released and stuff, in '87.
Mhm.
And yeah, from what I've heard, that's definitely a dope album. That's definitely your typical party hip
Yeah.
hop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that same year, they went on a major tour with like Run DMC,
Mhm.
Public Enemy, and so on and so on. And in 1988, that was when it all changed when they dropped "He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper," which, in my opinion, that's like probably their most influential album because it's hard for me to really pick a favorite album from them, believe it or not, because that album is probably tied with Code Red, which to me, Code Red, oh my, and that's the album I need in my collection because that's the only album I'm missing from them.
Right.
And that was a song album with Parents Just Don't Understand, um, Brand New Funk,
Yeah.
and what a lot of people need to give this album credit for was it was the first double LP. Now I know what you guys are saying. What about Tupac All Eyes on Me? Yes, that was the first double like album CD when it came back to
Yeah.
CD. But with DJ Jazzy after Fresh Prince, it was the first hip hop album to have two vinyls. The first
Oh,
have
I didn't know
double
that.
vinyls and stuff like that. Because if you get like the CD version of that,
Mm.
they cut it down to like one single disc. But I think that
Okay.
they cut some stuff off, which I would prefer you guys get the vinyl version.
Mm.
That's why, like I said, it took me forever to find that vinyl version and shit.
But they have, I think Amazon at one point had the double album on CD. It was like two CDs it was selling it as.
Oh, really? It must have been
Yeah.
like a
It
deluxe edition.
but it was like it was an anniversary edition, but I think it was like 15, 16 bucks.
Yeah, the anniversary
Okay.
edition, that's the
Yeah.
double CD version. But if you get like the OG CD version, like
Mm.
the reissue that they did in the 90s,
Right.
yeah, it's only like one disc. I think
There's one
the
disc, right?
95 issue, yeah.
Okay.
But there was some controversy because they were nominated for a Grammy, for this is when hip hop was really starting to get more notified in Grammy, and it was the first hip hop Grammy. And I think they were nominated alongside Tone Loc, Salt and Pepper, Kumo D, but they were not going to televise the award. So they did like the anti-Grammy party. And I want to say Kumo D, he was the only one that actually showed up to the Grammys too, believe it or not.
Wow.
So yeah, man, mind you, both of them were on the same label and shit. So that's
Mm.
crazy. And then fast forward to 1989, they dropped the "And in This Corner" album, which to me, I'm gonna give it a buck. That's like their most weakest album.
Man.
I mean, it has some dope cuts. I liked some albums, but
Mm.
I don't know. It just wasn't as balanced as like the first two.
Man.
Um, and also when it came to around that time too, you gotta remember like the late '80s. You had cats like you had Productions. You had
Man.
cats like Two Life Crew. They were
Mm.
doing their own thing and shit like that.
Yeah.
Um, Also, what a lot of people need to realize about the song I think I can beat Mike Tyson" video.
Mm.
Um, Alfonso Ribeiro and James Avery, they appeared in the video too, just throwing it out there and stuff. So,
Man.
um, and fast forward to 1990, things kind of took a head on Will Smith because, for one, Ready Rock C, and this from what I looked up, that he left the group in 1990 because he said, and I quote, that Will wanted all the spotlight to himself and shit. And so he actually sued DJ Jazzy Jeff for Fresh Prince in 1999, claiming that he wants one third of the group profits and shit like that.
Mm.
Where's Ready Roxy now and shit. So yeah,
That's crazy.
and then also around that time too, Will Smith, he was going through, he was near bankruptcy because,
Right.
and he even said that he was spending a lot of money around that time too, just buying
Mm.
lavish shit. He was just enjoying himself, and pretty much, he was near bankruptcy, and he appeared on Quincy Jones's party or whatnot. And at that time, Quincy Jones, he was working on developing the Fresh Prince of Bel Air with Benny Medina, which you guys
Mm.
should know the history. Benny
Yeah.
Medina was the original Fresh Prince that the show was based off on. Look up the interview and he explains it. It's a dope interview.
Oh, so
And
he was the one from Philly.
No, well, he was from like California, but
Mm.
they added Will's charisma and
Oh, I
stuff
didn't know
like
that.
that too.
Right, and that's J Lo's manager now, right? Benny Medina.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
hmm
that.
And so, he Will Smith did like an impromptu audition, and so that's how Fresh Prince of Bel Air came about and whatnot. And that pretty much revived their popularity in a weird way. And also when it came to that same year, they were originally supposed to have done um, House Party originally,
Right,
but
that would have been great. Like to see him, I definitely think House Party would have been just as great with Will and Jazzy Jeff in that.
oh yeah, definitely. Plus, like they had that charisma, that
Yeah,
chemistry,
I
and
remember
things like
hearing
that.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy, and it's crazy too because they declined it, and of course, the rest is history
Yeah,
when it came to Kid and Play. And so, fast forward to 1991. Um, After this first season of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, he came out with the first single, "Summertime," which the video "Summertime" debuted. If I want to say, I think during an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, like after one of
yeah,
those times.
something like that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, this is the album right here. Pretty dope album cover. It's like the most '90s cover I've seen from them. So
Yeah.
just the colors and everything, the
Mm-hmm.
cross colors. I
Right.
mean, it looks like they were taking a break from filming the show or shit like that. They was like, let's just put an album cover
Right.
just for peeps' sake. And this album got them American Music Award for best hip hop album in '92
Yes.
too. So,
Yes.
and mind you, I have not heard this album since 2014. So yeah, man, all this shit is gonna be like pure honesty as usual.
Oh.
Pretty dope picture. I've always fucked with that picture right there. This shit's
Yes.
pretty
That was in the cassette. That was the cassette picture.
yes, sir. And the crazy thing is, I think I misplaced my and in this corner album. Either I misplaced it or I sold it,
Hmm.
but I'll get
That
it
one.
back.
That one is underrated.
Yeah, yeah. It's just not like not one of my favorites from
Right.
But I hear what you say. I can't get mad about that.
Yeah.
But this album has about I want to say 12 tracks. So
Yeah.
track number one, I'm All That. Very dope song. Um, Pretty much one of my favorite songs that he's done. I love the usage of the Rick James "Give It to Me, Baby"
Yeah.
sample, which Rick James was getting a lot of hip hop love because 1 year after him a sample "You Can't Touch This," um, this should have been a single in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely.
This should have definitely been a single because Will was definitely spitting and shit. I felt like with this album, he was definitely stepping his finger up, which I'm gonna swing at in
Hmm.
a minute. Um, I love the line where he says, "What I do best, funny to hell with hardcore, voice on radio, face on TV, spanking new funky rhymes on a CD, out to attack the whack, full contact. It's gonna be a long night to go on a knapsack." Yeah, man. Like Fresh Prince was definitely ill with that wordplay and shit. So yeah, man, very dope track.
Yes. Definitely off the bat, a banger. A great way to start off this album. I love the Rick James sample. That was a classic song by Rick, and I thought they made they used it. They used the sample in a dope way, and with the bass line and the beat, and Will addressing the media and the fans, saying, people said that I couldn't rap. Ha ha ha, you can stop that because I'm a rapper and a half, and in the past I chose to make people laugh, and I was criticized for that. Some call me soft, some call me whack, and I loved that he addressed that, because for years, and again, I didn't hear this stuff in 1990 when he was at his height. I only heard it after the success of when he went solo, and after the success of like Big Willie style, of course, and in Millennium, because we was already in the bling bling era. So because of that, that's when I started to hear like at the end of the '90s, in the early 2000s, that oh, well he was soft rap. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't street enough. The only person I ever heard say that was Ice T on that Arsenio show. That's the only time I heard anybody say that Will Smith was he was Disney rap or he was soft. I never heard nobody else say that, because back then, like the people loved Will Smith. They loved Kid and Play, and I'm like, I never heard that. That wasn't a thing back then until years later, and I never understood that. But I'm glad that he addressed it on this album. You know what I'm saying? And definitely a solid cut, and it wasn't one of my favorites at when this album had dropped, but now like many years later it's become one of my favorites, and they definitely should have had a video for this. And I mean, I could understand why. I mean, Rick James probably was like, nah, y'all not gonna use my joint for a single. But I mean, I don't know, he let Hammer use it for Can't Touch This. But
Well, he
I
sued
think,
him too.
huh?
He sued him for songwriting royalties too.
Rick
So
James.
yeah,
Oh shit, but I thought Hammer like got the okay to sample the joint from him though.
I mean he did, but he still wanted songwriting credit.
Hmm.
I have to relook at the story. He still, of course, he still wanted songwriting credit, and so that's why I think one of his only Grammys was "You Can't Touch This" because he
Right.
was listed as a songwriter.
That's probably why. Because yeah, I mean they probably maybe they thought about releasing this as a single, and maybe Rick James had a they didn't let them do it. But definitely a great track.
Yeah, but people need to give this the credit for Rick James too, is he
Yes.
was putting like a lot of rappers on his
Yeah.
song too, like Grandmaster Flash on the PIMP
Right.
song from Cold Blooded,
Hmm.
Roxanne Shante from the God Awful Wonderful album. Um, yeah, the only good track off that album, to be real with you. Yeah, yeah, y'all check out my review on that.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get into the classic "Summertime." Oh my God, I don't care what no one says. This is a
Hmm.
timeless song. I was
Hmm.
just jamming to this on the way here, of course.
Right.
Little trivia about this song: it was rumored that he ghost wrote this song for Rakim
Oh wow.
because if you listen to the way Fresh Prince was rapping on this song,
Hmm.
he had more of like a deeper tone and stuff like that, you know. And even with some of the lyrics too, it definitely had like a Rakim vibe. Like even the first two lines, "Here it is, groove slightly transformed, just a bit of a break from the norm."
Hmm.
That definitely, I can
Is
see
rocking.
Rakim saying that
Yeah.
shit,
Hmm.
especially let the rhythm hit a Rakim.
Yes.
Um, but Will's he declined it. Both Jazz Jeff and Will declined it because with this song, with this album, he even said that he was trying to make his voice sound deeper than usual
Mm.
and stuff like that because with the song "Then She Bit Me" from the End of This Corner
I love
album,
that song. Yeah.
yeah, very dope. That's like one of the few major songs I like for that album too.
Mm.
Um, his voice was a lot more deep, and people was
Right.
fucking with him on
Hmm.
that shit too, you know. But yeah, man, and it's a similar story with the Third Base album, but
Hmm.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk
Okay.
about that. Which they probably already seen it already, but
Mm.
so "Summertime" definitely a very dope joint. Got them a Grammy Award for Best Rap Single in '92. Um, everyone knows a Cool and the Gang sample of "Summer Madness," which
Hmm.
I love that sample, but I felt like it's been used doper time. Like I feel like Ice Cube used it better on how we can do it.
Right.
Redman definitely used it good on one of the interludes for Muddy Waters. Yeah, it's been used plenty a lot of times and shit. That's
Right.
like one of the few major Cool and the Gang songs like fuck with and shit. So
Mm.
yeah, man, that's "Summertime."
So this was Rakim song.
No, this was never Rakim song. It was just a rumor.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, like the way that Will was, and I didn't like at that time. He sounded real calm and mellow on this song. This is the type of song that you're supposed to sound like that. You know what I'm saying? And I could definitely hear Rakim on this. I don't know if Rakim would have made it a big hit like Will, just because of based on Will's popularity at that time. You know,
Well,
may I mean, who knows? Like maybe if Rakim had this song and it blew up, maybe it would have did like it would he would have had a great solo career after that. I don't know, but I feel like because of Will's popularity at that time and everybody loving the song and the video, that's why it's become a everybody knows that song now. You feel
yeah,
me?
because when I re-listened to "Summertime" over the
Hmm.
years after I've heard that rumor, I
Right,
kid you not. But if he would have done this, maybe for like the "Don't Sweat the Technique" album,
right.
I can definitely see it as a hit and shit. Because what a lot of people need to realize with Rakim, especially when it came to "Don't Sweat the Technique," was like he slowed his flow down
Hmm.
a lot. Because the first
Right.
three albums he was rapid fire. Well, even he was slowing it down a little bit with "Let the Rhythm Hit Him." I'm not gonna lie, but keep the beat. Casualties of War, Pass the
Right.
Grenade, like that's all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, this is a the summertime anthem. It's not Hot Girl Summer or anything Jay-Z was putting out every summer. This is the summer anthem always. Like when you hear this, when just the video, like the video goes perfect with the song. That's what I missed about videos. Videos went perfect with the singles. And this everybody knows this video, and then they just in Philly kicking it, wearing like the snapback starter hats and the starter jerseys back then, and the Nike Air Forces, and that you know what I'm saying, and you just at a cookout and you got the old people dancing and the kids blowing bubbles. That's what my childhood was about. Like that's what it was like when it was 90 degrees, 100 degrees in New York City in back in the day. You on the block and somebody on the block is gonna open the fire hydrant and we just gonna cool off. I remember many times like being in cooling off in the street with the fire hydrant being on, and even messed up my had like some suede feelers back then, and messed those up in the water, and um and that was it. You just go outside and you skateboarding or you riding your bike. The girls playing double dutch, ice cream truck coming around, and you getting your vanilla ice cream with the rainbow sprinkles on top, and that is what summertime meant to me. You know what I'm saying? And this is a perfect embodiment of the season. And when he says things like, and think of the summers of the past, adjust the bass and let the alpine blast. Pop in my CD and let me run around and put your car on cruise and lay back because it's the summertime. That I love that. Yeah, I got on new sneaks, but I need a new pair because basketball courts in the summer got girls there.
mm,
That's fire.
classic line.
Everybody coming looking real fine, fresh from the barbershop or fly from the beauty salon. That's what it was about, man. If you have a cookout and you announcing your cookout is on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, you gotta look fly. You gotta go to the barbershop and get that fresh lineup. The girls gotta go to the nail salon, get they mani and petty and get their hair done. You know what I'm saying? And that everybody can relate to that song. Everybody, that's a household song. I love the Cool in the Gang sample, and the chick that's singing on the chorus, and the beat. Everything about it is summertime. When you hear that song, it makes you think about summer. Even in the wintertime now in March, it makes you still think about summer ahead, and I love it, man. That's an all time classic.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic joint right
Yeah.
there. Next song, "The Things That You Do." Now, one of my initial problems I had with this album at first was I felt it was a bit too housey
Hmm.
in some cases, and I've always went back and forth with this song because it definitely had like a house feel to it.
Right.
But I decided to have an open mind, and I was like, you know what, this is not actually a bad song.
Right.
It's not one of my favorites from this album, but at the same time, I felt like it's a typical hip hop love song. You know what I'm saying? Will doing his thing on this joint right here. So yeah, I like it.
See, this is like around the time like 90 91 when the music was was shifting. It was like you had hip hop, getting more popular every year. And then it was like the New Jack Swing was getting popular, and you had like the techno house club music, with CNC Music Factory and D Light and artists like that getting popular. Yagfu Front and what I'm saying. So it was like I felt like it was like a fusion going on in genres, and I felt like this album had like that fusion where like a song like this was like it felt like club techno-ish, but it also had like a New Jack swing to it, and I thought it was a solid joint. I love the beat and the chorus, and I forgot they had a video for this. I remember I just saw the video again today. I was like, I forgot they told had a video for this, and definitely was a nice song, and Will saying stuff like "I want to be with you and I ain't hiding," and "A wave of love," and "I'm gliding and riding," and just talking about like he in love with a female, and you know I thought it was a dope joint.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that. Definitely. I need to rewatch the video and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because besides "Ring My Bell," no one really talks about that single too.
Right. True.
Um, Track number four, "That Boy Is This Boy Is Smooth," one of my all-time favorites. Again, this was also very distinct because DJ Jazzy Jeff actually dropped a few bars towards the end, which
Right.
I don't even think I've heard him rap, which I may have to
Hmm.
re-listen. I may, but I don't even think I've heard him drop a few bars and shit. But
Right.
yeah, man, he definitely did his thing on that joint. But Will trying to get his play shit going on. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, trying to emulate his character
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the show in a weird
Hmm.
way.
Yeah.
But yeah, love that beat. Jazzy Jeff does not get the props as a
Facts.
producer. I'm just gonna say it
Hmm.
right now
I agree.
because he definitely dropped some dope shit. For example, um, the he did a remix for Far Side. I want to say it's the Other Fish remix. There was two remixes. One was from
Okay.
LAJ,
Hmm.
which was like the main producer, but then Jazzy Jeff dropped this remix where he used the Patrice Russian, of course,
Right.
um, the Remind Me sample, which one
Oh
of the
wow.
best usages of the sample in my opinion.
I gotta hear
So
that.
yeah, that's definitely a dope joint. But yeah, that boy is smooth, very dope song. I love the line where Will says, "Ladies, calm down. I already got a date, cruise up front, and I was happy to find her tantalizing, tasty tune named Tanya." I said, "Hey, yo, babe, let's not go in the place yet. Come on, hop." And I got Luther in the tape deck, like very
Hmm.
ill, like just and his storytelling too was always on point. I've always felt this
Yeah.
storytelling from an
Yeah.
MC perspective too. So
Hmm.
yeah, again, one of my all-time favorites on the album, top three.
Definitely a smooth track, like nice beat, nice bass line. Dope Rakim. He sampled Rakim. Dope Rakim sample. The pianos is dope, and like this is like one of those songs where like he lives up to that whole Fresh Prince moniker. This is definitely
Yeah,
like one of them player songs that live up to that the whole mystique of the Fresh Prince, and I thought it was a dope. Definitely a solid track on here.
yeah, I definitely hear you on that. Oh Jesus, ring my bell. Okay, this is probably my least favorite song off this album. It of course samples the Anita Ward disco hit "Ring My Bell," which pretty much, I mean, it stands on its own because Will he does original lyrics off his song too, but at the
Hmm.
same time the writer Frederick Knight he pretty much got writing credits off this song and little trivia with this song they said it appeared on the credits up at the end of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode "The Mother of All Battles," which if memory serves me right, that's the episode when Ashley was about to fight that bully, if memory serves me right. and whatnot. So
Okay.
yeah, that was a funny ass episode.
I think I do remember that they played that during that fight.
Yeah, when Uncle Phil punches that nigga's like, I think you got me confused with your mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Then
remember
the
that.
Will's like, that's it, Uncle Phil, you're grounded.
Hmm.
Oh my god, like that's a classic episode. But yeah, I've never liked this song,
Right.
and this is exactly another song I felt was a bit too housey. Even at the video, I did not like. But the thing with DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, when they do stuff like that,
Hmm.
they're one of the rare groups I let it slide because
Right.
that's the whole Steve. So I just let it slide, but I've never cared for this shit.
Well, you see, I never liked the what they called for the video version. They called it that I think it was the NBC version, and that's like the housey club mix or whatever. I never liked
Yeah,
that version. I like this version on the album. I always felt like they should have released this version over the club mix, and for some reason the club mix got a lot of play. And you know, again, at that time is in the '90s, early '90s, and remixes was a big thing, and you had BBD and Tony and New Kids on the Block getting remixes all over the place with different singles. So I felt like Will and Jazzy Jeff like fit into that whole thing because they were, you know, they were coming from rap, but it was like you could dance to it, and a lot of remixes were like lining up to like remix their stuff, and this was like one of those tracks. But I prefer the original joint. I like it had like disco vibes to it. I like the beat and the bass line and the guitar string arrangements and the singing on the chorus. And then you got Will saying this is an invitation to a conversation. So when things get bad, you know I'll be there to soothe your mind. Like another love type of joint, you know. And I thought it was dope. It was like a real playful, sincere type of song from him.
I want to say he also got married to his first wife either this year or the
Hmm.
next year.
Okay,
I want to
Sharice,
say.
right?
You said what?
That's her name, Sharice, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to be on the Hollywood Wives with R. Kelly's ex-wife and
Oh Lord.
Eddie Murphy's ex-wife Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he was like, I don't know what she did to
Right.
him, but
There was a rumor even back then, like when they got a divorce, that Johnny Gill she was seeing. I don't know how true that is.
yeah, I heard about that rumor.
Okay.
Johnny, I heard a lot of scandalous shit about Johnny Girl. Like he's always a side nigga for some odd reason.
The side nigga.
I don't know. He was. It was some other shit I've heard about Johnny Depp, but
Right.
anyway, I don't want to talk about this shit
Yeah.
right now. Cause I'm actually fucking with this review so far. Then we got a dog is a dog.
Hmm.
Yo, again, Will start to have an edge on this track. Like, yeah, he's adapting. I felt like he was like when I said how Janet adapted the poetic justice
Hmm.
character, with the poem. I feel like he
Right.
adapted the Will Smith character on the show with some of these tracks right here.
Hmm.
You were just saying how he was on his player shit.
Right.
He was just saying like, how you see girl after girl and shit like that. And yeah, man, no, and if this song was released today, the Me Too movement were trying to, well, not Me Too, the cancel culture were trying to find something saying, oh, he's over here doing this.
Hmm.
That's not good, blah, 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 all that bullshit.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was a great song, and this is like a different song from the usual player like songs from the Fresh Prince. Where it's like you have like a song where like it seemed like he's like telling of like the females like, you know, listen, I'm not a dog. I actually want to be in a relationship. I want to love. But because he's the Fresh Prince, all the women feel like he's a dog. He's a player, which is what he did on the show. You know what I'm saying? So is like, you know, like if when Tyra Banks was on that show and he was trying to get with her character on there, but she was like, you know, they been through stuff already. She wasn't really trying to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? and the many times he's had like Nia Long on the show or Queen Latifah, you know what I'm saying, or Vivica A. Fox. They looked at him like like he was a player. So I felt like this song is like played up to again the show. Like you can watch the show and it was like a character on the show, and then when you hear the album, that show goes with the albums. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when like I like the Parliament, the Atomic Dog Parliament
Yeah.
sample. That was, yeah, that's a classic song in itself. And the beat and the bass line, you got like dog barking sounds in the background. I love the chorus. A dog is a dog, but a dog is a dog. I love that. And you got Will saying, not the way I play, the things I say, never been a lie, cause I ain't that type of guy, and that's why I get totally appalled when females say I ain't nothing but a dog. So it's like he's kind of upset that women are thinking that he's a dog, but he's like, I'm really this way, but y'all view me as in this way. You know what I'm saying? And I like that the humor of that song. You know what I'm saying? That was dope.
Yeah, I forgot that you mentioned
Mm,
the Parliament sample in the back.
right.
He has like a West Coast feel, which
Yeah.
I forgot to really mention. And
Mm,
speaking of Tyra Banks' character, I did not like the last episode she was on the show
right. You
where
ain't care
like
for that.
went through like alcohol, you were drinking.
Mm,
Yeah, I did not like that episode.
yeah. Yeah. I didn't really care for Tyra on there. I just looked at it like they were like they used to date from Philly, from the old neighborhood, and she came out there, and I don't know. I didn't know what was their whole end game with having her on the show. Like, were they gonna hook up again, or because I feel like they were just like playing around.
Well, because originally I think Tyra Banks got let go from the show, from what I've heard,
Mm.
because I think creative differences or because the
Oh
contract
wow.
was.
Oh
That's
wow.
why she left all up like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that is A Dog is a Dog. Track number 7, Caught in the Middle, Love and Life. Very good track, very relatable track because
Yeah.
it's pretty much excuse me, it's pretty much Will's talking about how he wants to be in a relationship at the same time with what he's going through with his everyday life. He's
Right.
trying so hard to find that balance. You know what I'm saying? Again, another love song off his album too.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought it was solid. Again, this is not, back then it wasn't one of my favorites. I appreciate it now, over the past couple decades, and I thought it was like it had, again, to me it had like a New Jack Swing type of vibe to it. I like the beat and the scratches, the pianos on there, and Will saying, love versus life. See what I mean? Do you like the movies? She like the club scene. Nobody wrong and nobody's right. Just caught in the middle of love and life, and just basically, talking about relationships and the hardships of trying to keep it going, and you might be different, your spouse might be different from you, and you got to try to make it work if you really want it. And sometimes it don't work because this person loves Britney Spears and you love Mary J. Blige. Is this not gonna work out? You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations like that. I'm like, I don't listen to Britney Spears, so we can have a problem because I'm definitely not bumping "Oops, I Did It Again." And Mary for me is like my favorite female R&B singer. So you definitely gonna be hearing, "Real Love" and "My Life" and all that. So I definitely could understand what Will is saying in this song.
Right, I definitely hear you that.
Yeah.
Um, then we're gonna get into Traps on the Dance Floor. This features his homeboys. What their names? What their names again? I think El Cid and Jazz Fresh.
Hmm.
Howard Richmond. Um, this is pretty much my favorite song off this album, believe it or not.
Hmm.
'Cause when I first heard this track, I thought, oh, it was gonna be like another one of those house kind of tracks, but
Right.
they were really spitting on this track. You know what I'm saying? They were really
Right.
spitting. Of course, Will had the best verse. Not,
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
course, he had the best verse. I mean, his homeboys was good too, but
Right.
it was just like everyone was just so into the zone and shit. Of course, Jazzy Jeff, he did the final verse, and he did his thing on that one too. So yeah, man, very, very, very dope joint. One of my favorite tracks off
Yes.
this album.
Yeah, definitely a dope joint. I like the beat and the bass line. It had another New Jack Swing feel to it. I definitely thought it was a underrated cut on this album though.
Oh yeah, very underrated cut. And this is what I want people to feel like because people always say, "Oh, they just always doing party raps and shit like that," but like they have some bars too. Like
Hmm.
I feel like lyrically, this album and maybe Code Red might be his best lyrically and shit. Which I need to get my hands on Code Red at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Then we're gonna get into Who Stole the DJ. Again, another classic track right here. Um. It kind of reminds me of the whole Nightmare on Elm Street kind of track they did. Almost like
Right.
when he's a DJ Allen Backer.
Hmm.
That's the He has like a very mystery kind of song. I love the sample of the Get Smart theme song. You
Hmm.
know, and so yeah, man, very very dope tracks. Back when hip hop really used to be fun, used to
Right.
sometimes they take it out of the box. These days, now these motherfuckers want to just rap over the same beat and just rap for TikTok and shit. It's very funny. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, I was definitely a big Get Smart fan with Maxwell Smart and Agent 99, and I watched a lot of those episodes of syndication back then, and I didn't care for that. I almost forgot they made a movie with Steve Carell. I didn't care for that film, but I love the fact that they
trash.
sampled the theme song. Huh?
I said that movie was trash.
Yeah. I, I remember. I almost forgot. 'Cause I seen it on streaming. Like surfing on streaming earlier, and I forgot. I'm like, I forgot they made a Get Smart film with Steve Carell. I'm like, that shit was terrible. But I'm glad that they sampled. They made a good use of the TV show theme song here, and I love the beat and the bass line, the scratching, and like the way it starts off. We have like some police sirens on the chase for like who stole the DJ, and Will is like playing the detective on the case, and it was very like Dick Tracy ish, and you got Will saying no fingerprints, no clues. The only witness was the bad breath dude. It was up to me to save the day and find out who stole the DJ. I thought it was very clever. Another dope storytelling track, right?
Yeah, very dope storytelling track. And I'm not even the biggest Get Smart fan and shit,
Right.
but
Hmm.
yeah, that movie, man. Uh,
Yeah. Terrible.
Next track, You Hit My Blinker. Uh, no,
You
You
saw my
Saw My,
blinker. Yeah.
excuse me. And people say Will Smith did not curse.
Hmm.
This is like one of the only two times that he cursed. Well, this was like the only time that you actually heard him curse because on the song Lost and Found, the song Tell Me Why, they actually had to bleep out the F word and shit, believe it or
Right.
not.
Hmm.
So pretty much it's again another storytelling track where like Fresh Prince was driving down the highway with this girl and stuff like that, and then this old lady, she follows him and stuff like that. You know what? He says, and I quote, "An old bat with glasses so thick she can't stay in her lane," and she ends up hitting Fresh Prince, and that's when he said, "You saw my blinker, bitch," and he ended up taking her to court, and she tried to con him and whatnot. But it's pretty much a funny ass track. It's a very funny track. Again, another original storytelling. Like you won't have motherfuckers do some off the wall shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, very very dope joint.
Great track. One of my favorites on here. And yeah, it's not every day we get to hear Will Smith curse on the record because that's what he wasn't about that. And I think that goes back to when with something with his grandmother. Like, I think his grandmother like looked in his rhyme book and she saw all the curse words and he vowed never to curse on the record or something like that. And um, I think it's a classic track. The banging drums, the bass line, the hi hats, the horns on it. The great storytelling, and Will gets into like a friend bender with a elderly lady, and and he has to go to court because of that, and I love where he says, we both pulled off on the side of the road. I was hot, ready to explode. The only thing stopping me from breaking her nose is I was 21 and she was 90 years old. Then the police came, turned the lights off. The lady started crying and the cop got soft. The cop said, "Oh, it'll be okay." Wrinkle old bag looking like a Sharpay, and he kept saying wrinkle old bag. He kept referring to the old lady as wrinkle old bag in this song, and now in these times, especially if you're a colored person, it could have turned into a worse situation than just being arrested for a fender bender with an old lady. You know what I'm saying? He could have lost his life in these times. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was a comical song, and that I wish they had a video for this, because this definitely would have been hilarious with the
Right.
way that he would have his whole personality and charisma would have made it hilarious. And we saw him get into fender benders on the Freshmen's of Bel Air, and it were hilarious shows, and it's always been one of my favorite tracks on this album. So
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that.
yeah.
Um, then when you get into dumb dancing, this was okay. Pretty much, just them trying to do their own dance. Again, I wouldn't really end the album like this, but
Mhm.
it's alright.
Yeah, Dumb Dancing. I always thought this was like another different track from him, and it was like more fast paced and upbeat, and it made you want to like dance. And he did like a lot of dumb dancing on the Freshmen's of Bel Air. Like I remember when uh when he first got there, and he had Ashley was playing the drums and he was dancing. That was like the dumb dancing, that like he had like his own moves called dumb dancing. I just thought it was dumb at the time, just the way that he was doing it. But only like certain people like Will Smith and Ed Lover from the MTV Raps could do like dumb dancing. Like they had like the if you were like double jointed, it was even more dope to see. And I couldn't do a lot of those moves. Like I was just content with doing like the whop and the snake and stuff like that. But dumb dancing was like his thing. So it was like, I definitely enjoyed the song. And he says, it ain't the Humpty nor the Lambada, more party funk than a damn pinata. You may have seen it on my TV show. Yeah, I know I dance like a pro. So he was even referring to doing it on Freshmen's of Bel Air, and I thought it was a great track.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy too.
Mm,
And then I know like the second half of the track we get into like this dope beat
yeah.
and stuff like that too, which I
Mm,
forgot to mention.
right.
Um, it's funny how you mentioned like the crazy dancing you were doing on the fucking show, because
Mm,
there was this one episode. It was a Tevin Campbell episode, and he wanted like the kids to dance like him, and then he would do
mm.
some weird dance, like
hmm Right. That's all dumb dancing that he was doing.
right.
You know.
And the last track off his album, "Summertime Reprise,"
Right.
which I'm not even gonna say shit. It's just like a reprise of the original
Right.
"Summertime." So
It was
yeah,
basically like the acapella, like the reprise the acapella without no beat, and they just hand clapping. Yo, summertime. Oh,
yeah,
oh. I love it. Like I love the crowd participation in the song, and they get you real hype for summertime, and it was great. You know.
exactly. But overall, my honest opinion, this is actually a very solid album. Um, the real song I really did not like really was
Mm,
"Ring My Bell,"
right.
but after you listen to this album, I actually fuck with it.
Right.
I felt like it was at first a bit too house at on occasion, but you know
Mm,
the storytelling was definitely dope. What else? What else? I felt like they were taking up a lot more chances with this song, this album and stuff.
right.
I definitely liked his flow, how he was doing the slow rock him, like y'all rock
Yeah.
him esque flow and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, I'll give this 4 out of 5.
I think it's a flawless album. Like from the very beginning, when we get "I'm All That" to the last joint, "I'm Dancing," and you got joints like "A Dog's a Dog," and "You Saw My Blinker," one of his best storytelling tracks ever, and "Caught in the Middle," and of course the official summer anthem, "Forever Summertime," and I love it. I love it. This is my favorite Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince album. I think it's a 5 mic classic. Yeah, man, I definitely got to get this on CD.
Yeah, man, definitely hear you on that. And that's it for the night. I'm definitely gonna need some sleep because I'm tired like hell.
Okay.
Excuse me. Like I said, this is gonna go up Tuesday night, so
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. Um,
Yes.
I'll text you some stuff tomorrow about the beat battle and shit too.
All right. Cool.
So appreciate this, bro. Hope you have
No doubt.
a good
You too,
morning
man.
now. It's like 6 o'clock right now.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.